Hello everyone. In our previous discussion about data flow, we've already observed that issues can occur during execution. Typically, we document this in an issue log. So let's discuss the issue log next. The issue log, throughout project execution, captures all encountered problems, deviations, discrepancies, inconsistencies, and unexpected events. We need to document all of these issues. But where do we keep track of them? In the issue log. So our job is to log these issues and monitor their progress throughout the process. What's been done so far? We track and record each step of execution. All of this gets updated in the issue log. What details go into the issue log? Remember, we said a log is just a document. It's a document for tracking issues. The log typically lists various aspects of the issue. The type of issue, who reported it, when it was reported, a description of the issue and its priority, who's responsible for it, the current status of resolution, such as reported, in progress, resolved, cannot be resolved, or any other relevant status. Let's break this down a bit. Now, about this issue log. It's really a great tool for project managers to keep track of project issues. Basically, you've got this document. You know the saying, the palest ink is better than the best memories. That, when you're working on a project, there's a ton of stuff going on, and countless issues that pop up. If you try to keep it all in your head, you're bound to forget things, and let things slip through the cracks. However, with an issue log in place, you can easily keep track of and follow up on project issues. So, when do you typically use an issue log? When a new issue comes up, you should update the issue log. When checking on the progress of an issue, or when new solutions are suggested, we update the issue log accordingly. You might also need to review the log. In exam scenarios, you might encounter situations where new issues crop up, or new defects are discovered. So, how do we tackle this problem? When we encounter these key terms, we should always update our issue log. Now, regarding the issues in our issue log, they're actually quite different from risks, even though we haven't talked about risks yet. Remember when we first discussed project characteristics, we talked about a key aspect, uniqueness. We said that uniqueness leads to uncertainty, and uncertainty, in turn, can create risks. A risk is essentially an uncertain future event or condition. When it happens, it'll impact the project. And this issue, it's already happened. It's bound to have consequences. So typically, we're dealing with issues after they've occurred. So what do we do when it happens? First, document it. Now, let's turn to another crucial output. It's called a change request. You know, we've touched on changes a few times already, but never officially. This time, we're tackling it hidden. So what exactly is a change request? It's about proposing modifications to any documents, deliverables, or baselines. It's typically a formal proposal. Anyone can submit a change request, either verbally or in writing. However, all requests must be documented. So, any stakeholder can submit a change request. But for this request, we must follow the proper procedure. We have to go through the integrated change control process. So, typically, we'll have a section later on about integrated change control. During this process, we'll discuss how changes go through proper channels. Now, in this part, what do we need to grasp? We need to understand change requests. And there are various types. Changes aren't that hard to grasp, really. Think about when you're driving. Sometimes you end up in unfamiliar territory. You use GPS navigation, but even with GPS, you might still take a wrong turn. But if you do make a mistake, how does the GPS respond? It says, route deviation detected. Route deviation detected. Then it guides you back to the correct route. You might follow its directions and get back on the original path. But there's another scenario. You've got your own ideas. You like to do things your own way. Then it'll say, recalculating route for you. But this scenario of going off route is essentially creating a change request. For change requests, there are typically several types. One is called defect repair. What's that? It's when, during product development, we've encountered some defects. We've run into some bugs. Quality issues have cropped up. To address these problems, we need to fix these existing issues and resolve any inconsistencies. This process is called defect repair. In English, we call these defects bugs. It's a term widely used in software development. Another type is called a change request, which involves taking corrective actions. Let me explain what that means. Corrective action. When managing a project, quality might not be the issue, but we might fall behind schedule or exceed our budget. In such cases, we need to take action to bring the project back on track. Getting back on track involves realigning performance with the project plan. This is corrective action. There's also a preventive approach, where we act before issues arise. However, I anticipate that in the future, we might face situations where performance deviates from the project plan. To address this potential issue, I'm taking proactive steps now. These preventive measures are designed to mitigate potential performance issues down the line. Another approach is updating, which involves the following. We make changes to formally controlled project documents and plans. In other words, we update the documents after a change has occurred. Once we've confirmed the change has happened, we can only update our plans and documents accordingly. As for change requests, we'll dedicate considerable time later to explain them in depth during change implementation and control. For now, a basic grasp will suffice. That's all you need to know for now.